What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew, and it is NUFF of the week time. And I'm going to put this disclosure out nice and early. I'm recording this on Tuesday, very, very early on in the piece, much earlier than I'd ever record any other NUFF of the week. But nothing is going to irk me. Nothing this round that plays out, surely, is going to irk me more than this topic. We are talking about Oscar Allen and what is going on with him at West Coast. Real stupid kind of shit behavior, if I'm being perfectly upfront. The report is that he wants out, and that's been kind of persisting for a little while. But now he's gone and met with a club coach, and it's gone public, and he is the co-captain of the West Coast Football Club. That sort of behavior drives me mad, and as a Geelong supporter, we're all too familiar with this sort of thing. Don't forget Lee Colbert, everyone. That underpins this episode of NUFF of the Week. But before we get to it in great detail, let's take a word from our sponsor.
The Hoops Crew Media Network is proudly sponsored by Cyril Cook Florist. Visit them at shop 1211 Leather Street in Breakwater. Phone them on 035 222 2244 or visit their website at www.cyrilcookflorist.com.au and use the offer code GOCATS in the voucher field at checkout to get 20% off your next online purchase.
Thank you, Cyril Cook Florist, as always, for your ongoing support of the Hoops Crew and all we get up to. Now, let's get into the story here and set up the stage a little bit, and also get lots of adverts for PointsBet because, my God, the Fox Footy page is being bombarded with that at the moment. Oscar Allen, for a little bit of context for you, young, up-and-coming forward. He's been doing some really good things across many years in a very weak team. He's the co-captain of the West Coast Football Club. And the talk is that, his contract's up, that there's some interest from Brisbane. Of course, Brisbane are looking to replace Joe Danaher. Hawthorn are getting involved. They've got themselves a whole lot of money. But all of these things, these can affect any player. If you're out of contract, there's always speculation. Clubs are going to do their due diligence and ask the question. Don't blame them for any of that. But when you're publicly meeting an opposition coach and you are the captain of the club, for me, that is a major, major problem. And it's like, I think it says a lot about the guy. Despite whatever situation he feels like he's been in at West Coast, I feel like it says a lot about the individual in this particular scenario. So let's get into the story a little bit. The ugly reality of the West Coast captain's rival catch-up and why it's on Eagles coach to fix free agent mess. This is from Fox Footy. Will Faulkner. West Coast start to 2025 has left the club and fans on edge after just 3 rounds, and speculation over the future of co-captain Oscar Allen is only amplifying their concerns. Several outlets have reported in the last 24 hours that the 26-year-old star met with Hawthorn coach Sam Mitchell, leaving plenty to the imagination about where Allen's future may lie beyond this season. Now, I wouldn't get that carried away that, okay, it must be Hawthorn, because I think there's other clubs that are going to put up some pretty good offers. And of course, if Brisbane's involved as the reigning premier, that adds a little bit of clout, and it's very clear where he would fit within that picture. But, of course, the Hawthorn component, it's very on the nose, right? As reported by Fox Sports News' David Zeta last week, the Hawks are up to their eyeballs in the chase for the key tall, with Mitchell's meeting only pouring fuel on the fire of speculation regarding their hot pursuit. Contracted until the end of next year, Allen will almost certainly become a restricted free agent in 2026, but his club's lack of success lately means a move this year is yet to be ruled out. And I get all of that rationale. And I'm not even, wildly against the idea. As much as he's a captain, I don't really want to see captains leave their clubs. I think it's a really, really bad look. I'm not opposed to the idea of him leaving if the circumstances are right. Like, sometimes things just happen and you got to go, right? But to be meeting, this is the sort of thing. And now I'm going to start to really kind of enter rant territory a little bit here. This is the sort of thing where my contention is get your management to do the heavy lifting for you. Keep out of it. Do not engage. Do not be seen with anyone from another club in these sorts of scenarios. It's just ridiculous. And surely his management, whoever he's managed by, is screaming at him at the moment. Like, this was such a horrible idea. Why did you meet up with the opposition club coach? It just boggles the mind. It is so wildly disrespectful to the club you're at and every other player on that list for that matter. And the thing that I think bothers me the most is that you've got lots of other players at that club that you're trying to retain. Now, let's for a second ignore the fact that I put together a video that's Geelong pitching the Harley Reid idea, and what could happen if he, or how could we potentially get him back to the Cats? Because it also sounds like Hawthorn's got the money to try and wrestle both of those players over. But Harley Reid, if you go to Hawthorn, that is the wildest disrespect to your childhood. You supported Geelong, and it's just not okay to go to the Hawks. But anyway, setting all that aside for a sec, you are the co-captain of a football club who is trying really hard to retain its number one pick from just 12 months ago. A player who seems quite restless, who seems to be having some challenges and difficulties, and is, certainly feeling the lure of home, if nothing else. And I'm sure there's other players on the list who, trying to work out where they fit within the club's landscape and what opportunities are going to be there for them and how are they going to carve out their space within the West Coast Football Club and then potentially take that club back to the promised land, back to the success of 2018, which wasn't that long ago when you get really frank about it. And yet, as the captain, you're now seen. It's not even your management. It's not even, it's so disrespectful to everyone involved to be having these conversations, because now when Harley Reid or someone else from that club, hears you speak about loyalty and honor and respecting the logo and respecting the team and respecting the culture, they're going to go, well, no, you're kind of taking the piss out of us here. You're spitting in the face of the club right now. And again, no one's ignorant to the fact that maybe these conversations are going on, that maybe Oscar is engaging with these other teams via his management, but you're not, it's not visible. It's the visibility that's the problem here. It's the brazenness, the public nature that is so highly disrespectful. And it's something I cannot stand. And look, Lee Colbert, to draw comparisons for our primarily Geelong audience here, was appointed captain in 1999. He didn't play that year due to injury, but he was appointed captain in 1999 and things went a little bit pear-shaped. He then left as captain. I just, those sort of behaviors, when you make a commitment to a club, like I am going to be your captain, or you're appointed by your peers to be the captain. But of course, you're going to get a chance to say no. If you're appointed captain, you are making a commitment, a long-term commitment to a club that you're going nowhere. It doesn't mean you can't go anywhere in the future if you're no longer captain. And I think about the likes of Luke Hodge, for example, that fit that bill perfectly. Gary Ablett Jr., when he forfeited the captaincy at the Suns and then went on to leave eventually and to come back to Geelong. It's okay for a previous captain to move on because they might be seeking opportunity. Maybe their time is up at the club that they're at, but they believe that they've still got gas in the tank and something to expend it on. That's all fine. I'm okay with all of that. But when you are the active captain of the club, it's kind of shit. It's kind of disrespectful, and I don't like it. Oscar Allen, you are an absolute fool for engaging with Sam Mitchell in this capacity, in this way. Sam Mitchell, you're a wily coach. You're very good at what you do. You are, doing some, if you're a Hawthorn supporter, you must be delighted with what Sam Mitchell is doing. The on-field success, obviously, as of the time I record this, they've got the bye this week. They're 4-0. They're doing some incredible things. They've managed to poach the likes of Tom Barrass, who was a leader at the Eagles as well, and he's on the outs. There's question marks there as well. But there's a whole range of things that he's doing incredibly well. But it kind of highlights, I guess, a lack of integrity from Oscar Allen and perhaps a lack of system at the Eagles and a lack of respect and honor for what the club is doing, that he would entertain this conversation as well. And so for me, the main target of my frustration here is Oscar Allen. You're an idiot. Show some respect to the Eagles. Show some respect to the team that drafted you, that gave you an opportunity, that nurtured you and built you up and put all these development dollars into you and time and effort. And we're probably there for you when the times are rough. You've had injuries, significant injuries over the way. They've supported you through all that. And you're going to throw it in their face and potentially leave. Seemingly, at this point, obviously, you're going to leave, whether it's Hawthorn, whether it's Brisbane, whether it's someone else. It's gross. Grow up. That's where we're going to wrap things up for this entry of NUFF of the Week, the round 4 entry of NUFF of the Week. And again, if there's something else that's big, well, apologies. We'll come back to it another time. But this is a topic that, in case you haven't gathered from this video, really grinds my gears, and I want to double down on it hard. Thank you, everyone, for having watched this video. If you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, toss the video a like so you can spread the word with many others as well. Let the algorithm do its thing, and let's spread this conversation as far and wide as possible. As always, if you haven't already, consider checking out our Patreon. There's a 7-day free trial there where you can check out all that we do. There's early access content, extended content, and exclusives tucked behind the Patreon paywall. Consider checking that one out. $5 a month is all it takes to get access to all of that stuff, and you are helping the Hoops Crew dream to grow. We're doing awesome stuff, and we're hoping to get bigger and bigger with your support. You can find me at socials, Paul James Games, and until next time, please remain Geelong strong. Oscar Allen, you're a clown. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you later.